So there seems to be a pressing discussion on whether they should be separate males and female gyms. Now, from my perspective, I think that's perfectly fine, and I think that should be actually the norm. I think that the gyms should be separated, especially given the fact that the recent social trends that you can observe from TikTok. But anyway, the main story that surrounds this sort of a trend is this woman from UK. She decided to create a GoFundMe where her goal is to create a women's only gym. Her reasonings are to combat sexual harassment, inappropriate comments, and unwanted looks. Recently, she's been getting a lot of flack because she wanted to create a women's only gym, but she explicitly stated that transgender women, which are biological males that have transitioned into what we socially condemn women, will be allowed in the gym. Of course, all the girlies were upset. So a lot of women got upset that they should be safe in that area. That's the whole purpose for the gym. So she flip-flopped, and then she stated that they will be excluded. Now there's a problem. You cannot exclude people from the LGBTQ community because they rule the Western civilization. You can't do that. That's a big no-no. This whole story came to abrupt. Her whole business came to abrupt because she posted a video stating that it's only gonna be biological women. These are all of her statements.
My women's only gym will be operating as a single-sex space for biological women.
The fitness influencer has doubled down on her decision to ban trans women from her women-only gym. The influencer, known as Natalie B Fitness, announced plans to open the Girls Spot in London back in 2021, with a mission to tackle gym harassment, intimidation, and sexual harassment that women face. She created a GoFundMe to crowdfund for the space, amassing over £20,000 in donations. At the time, when asked about trans women accessing the gym, Natalie was quick to respond.
Of course, trans women are welcome at my women's only gym. I don't see trans women as trans women. I see trans women as women. And if you identify as a woman, then you're of course welcome.
She reinforced her stance with a tweet stating, "Trans women are women and also a minority that need to be protected." However, Natalie recently made a U-turn on her decision to be trans inclusive. In a video posted to X on Sunday, March 9th, she said,
My women's only gym will be operating as a single-sex space for biological women. We are focusing on self-defense classes as well as workshops and activations around PCOS and training on your menstrual cycle, all of which occur to biological women.
This statement caused a wave of online backlash, and some even asked for refunds from the funds donated. Hearing the noise, Natalie came back explaining her reasons.
The decision was based on the simple fact that I have been sexually assaulted inside of a gym. So many of the women that are coming to my women's only gym is because they have also been sexually assaulted or sexually harassed or faced gym intimidation. Whilst I understand the anger around backtracking, the reason why it is female only is so incredibly important. You know, like, I want so many girls and women to feel so safe.
When she says sexual harassment, she has to define that term because we don't know what does that mean. Saying an off-put comment, is that sexual harassment? What is staring now sexual harassment? I understand that the comment and the staring can be uncomfortable. It can be unwanted. It can be rude. Is that sexual harassment? If that's your criteria for sexual harassment, I'm going to take into question everything that comes out of your mouth. Because that's not sexual harassment. That's just rude, unwanted behavior. Then we'll move on to gym intimidation. What do you mean gym intimidation? That there are a bunch of strong dudes walking around lifting 500 pounds? Yes, they might be grunting. Yes, they might be throwing down the weights. That is what a gym is. I seriously think that they want a space. They want a space that literally represents a butterfly flying. So safe that you don't have to concern yourself about anything. Where does that sort of a sentiment comes from? I don't know. It's like people lack the ability to recognize that if you engage with the general population, there's always gonna be people who are weird, who are willing to commit crimes, are willing to ignore the social contract. That's why we have such a thing called law enforcement. just to give you an idea what sort of people are funding like, I am not against women's only gyms. I think that's a great idea. I think that specifically gyms, I don't like sports clubs, they can do whatever they want. Specifically gyms where you lift weights, they should be allowed to be male and female separated. Where you can go to men only gyms and women only gyms. I'm pretty sure majority of men share that sort of a sentiment, and a lot of women also share that sentiment. And we can see that sort of a sentiment by the people who supported her GoFundMe. Look at this. There's nothing wrong with wanting to protect female people from male violence and intrusion. I'm sorry, degenerates are threatening you. Male violence and intrusion. Remember, this is the same people that are gonna go on the internet and say that the red pill movement, these manosphere guys, they are such misogynists, they hate women. And then you turn around and look at their own side, and then you see this, full on categorizing all men with a broad brush of violence and intrusion. Have you ever seen a man punching a woman in the gym? I've been to the gym quite a few times. I've never seen a man fight a woman. I never seen a man assaulting a woman. An intrusion, what do you mean by intrusion? The fact that he comes to work out next to you because he needs to use that machine, is that intrusion? It's funny, on one end they're gonna say that generalization, you're overgeneralizing, but then you turn around and they do exact same thing. Oh, by the way, let's take a look at this. Yeah, I don't really need to say anything else. You can guess her political affiliation just by looking at the picture. Now, this trans issue, if you've been paying attention to any sort of a degree to the political landscape, whether it's in Europe, America, practically anywhere in the Western world, what you're gonna see, the amount of disproportionate amount of men that are literally fighting to keep women's sports to some degree fair, trying to keep biological men out of women's sports. It's men doing the fighting. I'm gonna ask this simple question, and I hope somebody answers me, but where are the feminists? Why are they quiet? Why are they silent? All of these prominent, massive celebrities, writers, movie producers, politicians are very quickly to come out and condemn the nasty behavior of men, to condemn the gender pay gap, which, by the way, doesn't exist. Actually, it does exist, but exists for a reason, and not the reason that just men are so evil and they just want to pay women less. Anyway, none of these so-called massive women leaders that you would call them, the representatives, are speaking out against it. All of them are silent. Feminism is just basically ideological and political puppets. They will say one thing and do another. I'll give you the example of Germany. In Germany, if you criticize feminism, you will be labeled as misogynistic, and you will be fined or put in prison for that. Criticizing a ideology will put you in prison. This is supposed to be a free country. It's not a free country. There are no free countries left on the planet. Well, questionably, you can say America, but even there are certain things you can't say. But in Europe, in the Western countries, it's cooked. It's done. So this sort of a sentiment for men and women only spaces, specifically for the gyms, exists on both sides. Men want only men gyms, specifically for the reason because you're gonna have some influencer wearing inappropriate clothing that's gonna come into the gym, doing the exercises completely wrong in a way to sexualize the position that they are in. Apparently doing the exercising, they're gonna set up the camera to film the rest of the gym so that she can blast those men on the internet that looked their way for 30 seconds.
Encountered a gym creeper today. Obviously, this guy's not dressed for a good workout, and he just kept wandering from machine to machine, staring at girls while they were working out. I literally stood next to him for so long, and he didn't even notice me. This is so annoying. We come to work out not to be leered at. And yes, I did report him to the front desk and show them.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
I hate this. I hate when there's weirdos. It makes me so uncomfortable. Feral, like feral. Swatch. The 5 adds £5. And these are the rates. Excuse me? You don't have to do that. It's okay. No, it's okay. I got it. Thank you, though. See what I mean?
Apologizing first. I think, yeah, maybe not posting somebody online is a smart idea.
Yeah, so men want only men gyms as well. And women seem to think that all of them are gonna get harassed, sexually assaulted, male violence, male intrusion. That's completely fine. You can have your own gyms. No man's gonna complain about that. However, if a man opens up only men's gyms, you're gonna hear all of these ladies screaming and screeching that this is sexism. This is not equality. By the way, there's a difference. There's a difference in the women's ideology as well. You have the old school feminists, which, by the way, they are completely unhinged. I mean, I don't know who in the world would listen to these personalities. Then you have the modern progressive feminists. There's a massive difference. I'm gonna show you a video of them arguing. The new age feminism literally embodies this sort of a statement perfectly. I want all the benefits of traditional life aspects with all the benefits of the new modern age equality.
Or, as some are saying, do you think it's sexist having women-only spaces?
You're looking at me, aren't you, Ruth? You are. I'm really torn on this. Because on the one hand, I am so into, I'm very into equality and all of those things. However, I'm not into double standards. And I feel if something was coming out now saying they're having an all-male this or an all-male that, there'd be a lot of women going, well, that's sexist. And so there's an element of me that thinks now that it's sexist whatever way you look at it, really.
So if there was an all-male, men-only gyms, there might well be, actually, I don't know. Let me know if you know if there are. Would you think a lot of women will say, well, that's sexist, you shouldn't have all-male
I think they would. Well, some women would, some women wouldn't. I probably would. I'd go, well, that's a bit... In this day and age...
Where we want equality.
Yeah. I would go, well, that's sexist. It's like when I was growing up and working in working men's clubs, didn't think it at the time, but you had signs at bars saying no women allowed at the bar, no women allowed in the snooker room. At the time, because I was this high, that's just the way it was. Going back to those same clubs and seeing those signs now, I go, that's horrendous, really, and thank God times have changed.
I'm just gonna stop right here for a second. Horrendous. Listen, when she's describing men-only spaces, listen to how this sort of a space is being conceptualized. Horrendous. By which standard is it horrendous? By yours? Are your feelings getting hurt that you're not allowed to enter? See, men understand that if women have their own spaces, we're gonna leave it alone. Because we want to have our own spaces, so women should be allowed to have their own spaces. That's completely normal. You have spaces where everybody can go. You have spaces where only men can go. and you have spaces where only women can go. But you know, I heard this joke a few years ago where they say that they don't really want their own. They don't really want their own shit. They want your shit. That's what it boils down to. What is the issue? Gentlemen's clubs. What is the issue with them? The fact that they don't allow women? There are clubs that allow only women. Do you see men complaining, screeching, yelling? There's not a single only men's space left that exists because all of them have been sued out of existence. There are still women's night out, clubs that specifically promote only women's hours. Where is that for men? The only time that exists for men, it's when it's gay dudes. For some reason, if a bunch of stray dudes just gather in a club to smoke a cigar, drink a bit of whiskey, rum, some sort of alcohol, I think they literally think that the world's gonna explode.
Where's the line? And I just think, you know, my future daughter-in-law, Maddie, we have this row all the time because she always says to me, you're so anti-feminist or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm really equality.
Oh my God. This one is anti-feminist. This is the distinction that I was trying to draw with that example. Listen to what she's saying. What she says, that's supposed to be the feminist ideology. That's supposed to be what they think. That's what I would call a feminist. Maybe even an old school feminist, right? Her daughter-in-law, I don't know, her son must be such a simp. Anyway, her daughter-in-law literally thinks that she's anti-feminism. The modern age has produced such radical, nonsensical, emotionally driven people that they literally can't even think with their own brains. Her daughter-in-law is literally a sheep. You cannot come to any sort of a conclusion. This is logically coherent with the ideology of feminism. Her daughter-in-law literally embodies what I just said previously. She wants the women-only areas. If men have only men areas, they're gonna engage in conspiracy and try to take over the Western civilization again. We're gonna go back to the Stone Ages.
Being women, they're saying they need a kind of safe and comfortable place, and there have been cases of women where they're in mixed-sex gyms and they're being filmed and photographed. You know, so they're saying there are some creepy characters around, and they're doing a workout. You know, might be doing squats, or they've got a workout top on and they're leaning down, and that they are have been filmed by men. Taken photographs
well, they should be reported though. Yes, surely that's down to the gym to say no cameras.
If it meant there are women.
Remember, these sorts of people are for equality. They are for equality. Where's the equality? Have they identified the whole issue correctly? Have they identified the reason why men nowadays want only men's gyms? If it's, by the way, if it's only men, if men are these horrible people that can't be trusted to be around you, then why wouldn't you want a space only where all the sexual assaulters, all the horrors would go, all the violent intruders would go, and then another space where all the butterfly happy hunky-dory ladies can go?
Space.
But you may not, Janet, but there are other women that do. There are some women that have been...
Well, they can't have it both ways.
Yeah, but hang on a second. If you are a woman who has been stalked or is a victim of a sexual abuse, or for religious reasons, you're not allowed or permitted to go into a gym with other men, and an organisation is willing to put on a safe space for you and for your needs, there's nothing wrong with that.
But it shouldn't enter the mainstream. Those are extreme examples that you've just cited. What I'm talking about is, in general, I feel that if a gym is offering membership, it should be membership to everybody and they should all have equal access.
There is a man,
if people have a very legitimate reason, as in the case of stalking or religious beliefs, yes, they should have special access to special times. I mean,
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying as a general policy, I think it's detrimental to women to plead special treatment when they have fought so hard for equality.
But there is a man actually who was trying to sue his local gym because he said, I'm paying for 442 hours a year, and some of that he wasn't allowed to use. So he's saying that's discriminatory against me, that I'm paying a full membership, but there are certain times in the day that they say this is women only for this session, where he believed that that means he's not getting his full membership.
Yeah, but you don't change men's behaviour by running away from it. You've got to confront it.
Yeah, but sometimes women need protecting. So
well, I don't know. I'm not buying that women need more protecting now in 20.
What did this redhead just said? You don't change men's behavior. In what sense of the world do you think that you're in any sort of a position to declare that you need to change men's behavior? Again, I'm gonna repeat myself. Like, bro, like these people are so, God, these people have zero logical thinking. If you engage with the general population, there's gonna be evil people. There's gonna be people who's gonna take advantage of you. That's just the reality of life. Okay? Does that mean that women don't participate in the same exact behavior? Change men's behavior? What are you talking about? Change men's behavior. Bro, the moment that a dude says change women's behavior, he would have a crusade waged against him. This redhead gets on the goddamn national TV in UK, and she gets to say change men's behavior? Who the do you think you are? Anyway, and the other one, the culturally appropriating black woman over there, she has nothing of substance to add to the conversation. It's like if I would tell you, let's say you try to join MMA, just to let you know, people get injured, people break bones. Wow, didn't know that, huh? I didn't know that people who engage in fighting often get hurt. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that I covered all the information that was necessary. Oh, lastly, the gym is not gonna open anymore. Apparently it's been cancelled because of all the backlash from the LGBT community. Okay, guys, like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.